Alright, this is number 31 on page 376, and we're given this polynomial equation, and we're supposed to find all the roots, and we've been given 2 of the roots, so we need to find the other 2. We know there's going to be 4 roots according to the fundamental theorem of algebra. The highest power of x is 4. So make a list here. I've been given a root of 1 and negative 2/3, and I have to find a 3rd root and a 4th root. And I don't know what kind of roots they're going to be yet, whether they'll be real or rational numbers or irrational numbers, or whether they'll be imaginary. So root 1, root 2, root 3, root 4. So I'm going to divide synthetically by each of these roots one at a time, and to try and get to a depressed quadratic equation. So anyway, let's start off. I'll divide by 1. So my coefficients 3, 5, negative 7, negative 3, and 2. I know that my remainder should be 0. I'll check, make sure that it is, because 1 is definitely given as a root. So synthetically dividing, combine, negative 2, that had to be a negative 2 to get a 0 here. So I know that I've done that correctly and that these coefficients are right, but this would be a 3rd power and have constant x to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and I can't solve that. I need to divide by another power of x, so I need to divide by now by the negative 2/3. And when I do that, now this column, because I blocked that one out, this column will be where my remainder is, and again that should be a 0 because this is a known root. So bring down my 3. 3 times negative 2/3 is negative 2. 6 times negative 2/3 is negative 4. Negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 2/3 is a positive 2, which it had to be. I get a 0 here. So I did that correctly. And then these coefficients, this will be a constant and an x to the 1st and an x squared. That's my depressed equation. The coefficients to the depressed equation. So it'll be 3x squared plus 6x minus 3. I set that equal to 0 and solve it for x, and because it's quadratic I can't. So probably first thing is I can cut this down because there's a common factor of 3. I can basically factor that out of each term on the left to divide everything by 3. Simplifying this to x squared plus 2x minus 1. Okay, so this can't be factored. There's no factors of negative 1 that add to a positive 2. So I'm just going to complete the square because it's easy. Adding the 1 to the other side. So this is x plus 1 quantity squared. So I'm going to add a positive 1 on both sides and get a 2 on the right. Now taking the positive and negative square root of both sides, I get x plus 1 is equal to the positive and negative square root of 2. So x is equal to negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 2. So that's 2 roots right there. That's negative 1 plus the square root of 2 and negative 1 minus the square root of 2. And those can be approximated. You can get a good decimal approximation of where those are on the x-axis. This is about negative 2.4, and I'm sorry, this is about positive 0.4, and this is about negative 2.4, and 1 and negative 2/3 are other places. The graph of that equation will cross the x-axis. So that's finding roots.